So, does everyone see this blue composite figure here? Now, when I say composite figure, what that means is it's basically in a regular shape where it's kind of, you can't find the area of one shape altogether, so you kind of have to break it into parts. So for this one in particular, one thing I think that a lot of kids have trouble with is they have trouble identifying when a side is missing. So for instance, if you guys look here, right, we know that this whole side down here is 16, right? And then we know that this piece right here is 8. But then we have this piece here that's kind of the base of this triangle that we don't have a number for. But I know that these two pieces together have to be the same value as 16. So that means this plus whatever value this is has to be 16. So a lot of times I think kids get confused when they're looking at composite figures because they can't figure out what a missing side is. So the best thing for me to tell you is just find a side that if you put the two pieces together, or sometimes it's even more than two, if you can put those pieces together to equal another side where you have the whole length, then you can figure out what that missing piece is, okay? So for instance, we have this whole part is 16, this whole part is 16. This piece right here then would have to be what? Here, you guys can actually use the chat if you want. You can put the answer in there. So what would that missing side be? Good. So I see everybody's putting in 8, all right? So I'm going to label this with 8. So first things first. So now I have a rectangle, and now I have the base and height. Well, actually, I'm going to get the base and height of this triangle in a second. But let's focus on the rectangle first. The rectangle is relatively easy. So you want to have the base times the height, because this is a parallelogram. Just a reminder, does everyone see this right angle here? The base and the height of a shape always meet at a right angle. So the two numbers you're going to multiply here for the rectangle is 16 times 7. So you guys multiply that out, and in the chat, tell me what is the area of that rectangle. All right, I'm seeing 112. All right. So next, what we want to do is now we want to figure out the area of this triangle. Now, I kind of don't like where they put the 13 centimeters here, because that 13 centimeters is actually referring to, I'm going to use a different color here, it's actually referring to this whole thing here. So we know that this piece from here to here is 7, because it's the same as this side right here. But now we need to figure out what this piece is up here. So just this part of the triangle here. So you guys in the chat, can you guys tell me what the height of this triangle is? We know that the base is 8 from before, and now we just need to figure out what that piece, the height is. Just type it in the chat. All right, thank you everybody. I see everyone typing that in. So now it's 6. Okay, so now I have the base and the height of that triangle, and they're meeting at a right angle. So I know for pre-algebra we haven't actually done this yet, but for Math 6, thumbs up if you did the triangle lesson already this week. Did you watch the video on triangles? Okay, so you should know it's 1/2 times the base times the height. So now let's fill in that formula. 1/2 times a base of 8 times a height of 6. You guys multiply that out, and in the chat, write down what the area of that triangle is. All right, thank you everyone. So I see 24. So now all you guys need to do is you need to add together the areas of the two shapes together to get the area of the composite figure. So you guys do that in the chat, add those two numbers together, and tell me what is the total area of the composite. All right, I'm seeing 136. All right, and don't forget the units. It should be centimeters squared. All right, if anyone has any questions, you can put them in the chat. So if you have a question, go ahead and put it in the chat, and we can talk about it. But I'm seeing everyone pretty much coming up with the same thing. All right, so let's try one more of these. All right. All right, I'm gonna move this over a little bit. Okay, this one is a little bit simpler because there's no triangle involved. It's just two rectangles, and there's actually a couple different ways you could break this up. How about this? You guys, if you can describe it, I know it's a little bit tough to describe it. What's one way, if you could describe it in the chat, what's one way that you could break up this composite figure to make two smaller figures that you could find the area of? I know it's a little bit hard to describe, but if you can, try to describe it in the chat. How would you break up this figure? Okay. Yes, Akash, we're definitely going to break it into two rectangles. Anyone else have a way to describe how exactly you would do that? I know it's a little bit difficult because it's kind of hard to describe. There's actually a couple different places you could put a line for this. All right, so I'm going to go with Max's suggestion. So Max, if I'm wrong, you can put this in the chat. Max, is this the suggestion you have to kind of put a line right here? All right, thank you, Max. All right, so everyone, I'm not going to do this one for you. Why don't you guys find the area of both pieces and then add them together, and then in the chat, you guys can actually put the total area of the composite figure. All right, I'm seeing a lot of people come up with the answer of 36 centimeters squared. All right, good job, everybody. All right, let's go to another one. All right, this one is a little bit tougher, and I will say this. The pre-algebra students, we haven't done trapezoids yet, but if you were in Math 6, trapezoids is one of the shapes that you've done. So if you're in pre-algebra, I'm going to give you guys the formula, and we can fill it in from there. The Math 6 kids, this was one of the videos you were supposed to watch this week on how to get the area of a trapezoid. So I'm going to give you the formula first, and we'll talk about it. So there's definitely a trapezoid here. So the area formula for that is 1/2 times the height times base 1 plus base 2. And then we have a rectangle that we would also come up with here, which is just base times height. So I know it's like I said, I know it's hard in the chat. Can anyone describe to me where you would think you'd break this shape up? There's actually a few different places you can do it. All right, I see Joey's response. Thank you, Joe. I see a response from Tyson. All right, from right angle to right angle. I see that from Aaron. All right, I'm going to go with, I think the first one I saw, I think that was, let me scroll up a little bit. I thought that was, let's see. I think that was Joey. Maybe I'm wrong. But Joe, you can put this in the chat. Were you talking about doing something like this? Simple one first. Who thinks they can, in the chat, tell me what are the dimensions of this rectangle right here that we need to find the area of? So you guys put in the dimensions, what the... Thank you, Corinne. I see Aaron. Thank you, Aaron. All right, so we're going to do area is 5 times 10. Okay, so our area for that piece should just be 50 inches squared. So I'm going to label that right in here. So I know this piece is 50 inches goes back to now deciding a missing part when we have another part. So what I'm going to do here is I know that this whole side is 10. And I know that this piece right here is 6. And I know if I put the height of the trapezoid with the 6 here, it's going to equal 10. All right? So what do you guys think this other side would be? Or excuse me, not other side, the height of the trapezoid we have here. Good, the height is 4. All right, so now let's fill in the formula. So we have 1/2 times the height of the trapezoid, which is 4, times base 1 plus base 2. So you guys tell me base 1 plus base 2 is what? Put it in the chat. Thank you, Carson, I see you. So just for my pre-algebra kids, base 1 and base 2, those two bases are always parallel to each other. Oh, there's one thing I forgot to say, I'm sorry. This whole thing down here is 15, right? We already used this piece right here for the rectangle. So we already used this 5, right? So I actually only need what number over here? Good, thank you, Corinne. So I actually only need 10 of the 15. Because this 5 I already used as part of the rectangle. All right, so 10 plus 7 is 17. All right, so now what you guys need to do is 1/2 times 4 times 17. You guys multiply that out and tell me what does that equal. Yes, Davin, I'm pretty aware that you knew that. The look on your face tells me that you knew that, bud. All right, I'm seeing some answers. Thank you, everyone. 34. So now I just need to add those two parts together. So you guys tell me, what is the area of the composite figure?